Yes, people. Welcome to Saeed TV and welcome back to the Sunday night Unfiltered podcast with my main guys in the building. We got man like Flawless in the house. Flawless, what are you telling me, bro?
I'm good, fam. I'm blessed. Obviously, I was just telling you, but thanks for having me as always. Number one, number two, we were just talking before the stream. I played football yesterday, 11 aside for the first time in a couple of years. So man's feeling the effects. But other than that, I'm good.
Man. Listen, you're putting a shift in, man. That's the main thing, man. You get me? Because that's what these
45 minutes, man. It was a good 45 minutes. That's what man got. Solid 45.
Absolutely. We've got a man like James in the fitness room as well, man. You know what I mean? Did you get a session in today just before?
Yeah, I did do, man. Managed the full 90 minutes on like Flawless and Man United did manage about 45 each, didn't they? So yeah, it's been all good. Can't complain, man.
Absolutely. Big up to everybody who's locked in, man. Like I said, people, before we start the video, I want you to guys like the video already. We already got over 200 of you in here from the off. So please, guys, smash a like on the video. Subscribe to Sarcasm City. It's road to 5K for him. Make sure you go subscribe to his channel and make sure you go follow James Dixon on Instagram and Twitter. And also, people, Andy Tate will be joining us in maybe a couple of minutes. He's going to be a few minutes late. He said he'll join the show when he can. So hopefully we'll get Andy Tate because, yeah, man, there's a lot to talk about, Flawless. Which is always a lot to talk about with this United family.
There is always, man.
You know what I mean?
We are a gift that keeps on giving in terms of news.
Yeah.
Man. It's only pre-season. It's not even competitive matches, and there's already so much to talk about.
Yeah, man. 100%, man. There was a little bit of a semi-meltdown on Twitter yesterday, as usual. But the topic of David De Gea turned around, man, and I was just sitting there putting my 2 pence in. I was like, oh, the David De Gea haters are back, man. They've come out crawling after a few, praises and that. And, you know what I mean? They kept the tweets quiet. They came back crawling. And that's why I want to talk about David De Gea and also Donny van der Beek. But the goal yesterday, did you see the goal, by the way? Did you catch the highlights?
I've seen the goal. I seen the goal we conceded. Are you talking about the corner, I'm guessing?
Yeah, the corner. The corner.
Yeah.
The corner. What did you make of the overall situation? And because I've actually criticized David De Gea there because I thought it's the poor there. You know, his commanding in the box is not great as it is, but he should have done better there. Where were you on that corner bit? Should Varane have come out and kind of cleared that, took the commanding side of it? Was he pushed? A lot of people say he's pushed. I don't really see that, to be honest with you. You have to give criticism where it's due. And I think David De Gea is at fault there because I think he crouched underneath it. But where were you on that one, bro?
Yeah, with it, like if the keeper comes for the cross, you have to get the ball. Zane's already in the cut. You either take the ball,
Zane, man.
the ball, the man, or both. Like you have the advantage because more often than not, from set pieces, the referees will give protection to the goalkeeper. So the goalkeeper's more likely to get the foul. It's very rare that a keeper comes for a cross, cleans out a guy, and the ref gives a penalty. Like it's extremely rare. You have to be extremely reckless. First, like you'd have to kick somebody like in the face literally for that to happen, or kick somebody in the chest. But De Gea has been like this though. De Gea has never been a commanding come for cross his goalkeeper. I don't know why all of a sudden there's uproar about it. Like we're shocked. I don't understand. Like this is what De Gea does. He's good at many things. We know this. When it comes to shot stopping, incredible. No doubt about it. There's no doubts. But there's other parts of his game that are not the best, you know, his distribution, his sweeper keeping. I think he said something about his distribution as well. I did see some quotes a few days ago, which lets me know he's bothered by it because if your distribution
of course,
is
same
good,
with Bruno.
With what Bruno said, we'll get onto that as well because that's crazy. How about you lot just do your talking on the pitch? I say this all the time. That's how you shut everybody up. Why are you going back with words? We all watch you on the football pitch. So it's like, why are you talking about your distribution and things like that in the media? How about you get on the training pitch and show us in games? But with the cross, he's definitely at fault. He got nowhere near it. It's not even like he was bullied and it was a big centre half leaning on him or anything like that. If you're going to come for crosses properly and be commanding. Come catch the ball. Simple as that. De Gea is what? 6'2", 6'3". So it's not even you're a small goalkeeper. Like you're a tall goalkeeper. So yeah, is he at fault? Yes. Of course, like you said, social media, the De Gea haters wanted to get him. I ain't really going to be overly critical because that's an area
you should know it,
improve. Yeah. And it's pre-season. That's how I'm still looking at it. Yes, it's pre. I'm not gonna even if we would have won 10-0 yesterday, I wouldn't be jumping up and down because it's pre-season. It's all about that first game in just under 2 weeks. That's the main aim.
Absolutely, absolutely. Flawless. After our performance last night, we will have our revenge for the 8-2 Gabriel 4 goals already. I mean,
We're not
you know
Zayn,
what
we're not
is
Chelsea. Zayn, we're not Chelsea. You ain't treating
yeah,
us like that. We are not Chelsea. Don't do that. You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
Don't do that. We're not
Chelsea,
Chelsea.
mate. I'm telling you, they're in the mud right now, and they need to improve drastically. He carries on by saying Saliba's best young defender. Ramsdale will be better than De Gea this season. I mean, bloody hell. Is he the one that got relegated twice, Ramsdale?
Yeah.
I
Man said
mean,
Saliba did
short
Arteta
memory.
not, did Arteta not try and sign a centre back as well? I swear he went in for
Yeah.
Martinez. Was he not trying to sign a centre back? And he signed Ben White, and he've got another centre back as well, but he's the best young defender. All right, okay. Sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, exactly. Someone's brought up a point here, saying about David De Gea, in terms of the set piecing, the set piece arrangement, saying you can't basically criticize David De Gea, James. We should be looking at the set piece area. I'll bring up the quote, but what do you make of that one? Yeah, here, this is it. Tony RTM says, "Why are people shocked? Let's talk about the set piece coach." Is that giving excuses to David De Gea, or generally, because there was a moment where I thought David Varane wasn't commanding enough to go and maybe be that person to be aggressive, but at the same time, the way David De Gea crouched and wasn't able to kind of be that strong link to go and just parry the ball away. Alisson does it a lot. Top keepers in the world do it a lot. Is that being a bit more, you know what I mean? Is he giving David De Gea a little bit of a sly leeway there for you, James?
I guess it depends how you look at stuff. Do you see it as like win as a team, lose as a team, attack as a team, defend as a team, or do you look at more individual errors and performances and stuff like that? I mean, at the end of the day, like you've got 11 people there to defend the corner. It's not just David De Gea, like you said. Ryan could do better. There's other people could do better, and maybe the set piece coach could work on a better way of defending. But at the end of the day, De Gea should do better there. He is given a bit of leeway in that quote. I mean, he should be stronger. But like Flawless said, we signed him in 2011, 2012? He came from Atletico Madrid. We knew he wasn't good in the air. We knew his distribution wasn't great, but we knew he was very athletic. He was quick up on his feet to make like double saves and stuff. His shot stopping's unbelievable. Athleticism, great. So there's very positive things about David De Gea as well. What I don't like at the moment in the fan base is the fact that the De Gea haters, we'll call them, literally like they banged on for ages about his distribution, ages and ages, but he was making saves like left, right, and centre, and it was like, oh no, his distribution's terrible. First 3 games of pre-season, distribution's been really good. Arguably, he's actually had praise on it from Ten Hag amongst other people. And yet all of a sudden he makes a mistake and people are on him for that. And it's like, well, he's not been making those mistakes for years, but you've been blaming something else and you've been having a go at something else. So it's like you're always going to find something to be unhappy about. I've always said a goalkeeper's number one job is to stop the ball going in the net. And De Gea does that well. Could he have better attributes that would help us in playing the game a certain way? Yes, of course he could. But no one's saying, like, everyone acts like the way that Liverpool play is the same as the way Man City play, and it's the only way to play football in the world. It doesn't head in. Right. Modern goalkeeper this, modern goalkeeper that, modern fullback this. There's a million ways to play football and a million ways to win football matches. Those of us that watch football under Sir Alex Ferguson, you're telling me he played one style of football? Everyone's like, oh yeah, flying wingers, crossing to the box. I watched us bore the pants off fans and bore the pants off teams and win 1-0. Like, I watched us batten down the hatches against numerous teams, like Barcelona, Paul Scholes rocket from 30 yards. Have you ever seen us more under the cosh in our life? Yeah. Bayern Munich, 99. Totally under the cosh for 90 minutes. 2 goals in 2 minutes.
We got battered that final.
So let's not pretend that the only way to win football matches and the only way to like win games and win leagues and win tournaments is to play this amazing football. Like, yes, obviously we want to get there. But football is a sport, mate, and it's about winning first and foremost. And you don't have to have a keeper that distributes. You have to have a keeper that stops the ball going in the net. And that's the number one attribute of a goalkeeper. How they do it, I don't care. Just stop the ball going in the net. So I have slightly different opinion on others than De Gea, to be honest.
No, I think I'm similar to you. I do want David De Gea to get better, but then again, same time, he isn't going to get better at that stuff right now in his career. You know what I mean? He's 31 now. Can he adapt? Maybe, possibly. But is he going to be that mania? You know what I mean? Lafon, you know, these new and upcoming keepers. Robert Sanchez, you know.
Who did you say?
Mania.
Lafon
is he plays for I think it's
Lovely
Rennes or
pronunciation, Saeed, man. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
listen,
saying?
man. If I have a
Look,
minute, you know what I mean? We're
That's
here.
fun.
that was beautiful, man.
La Fon.
That's why I stopped. I was like, huh? I was like,
Yeah,
all right,
man.
you know,
Listen,
I
we're
gotta
getting
give you
better
a
now.
props.
We're getting better. When it's foreign names, I get them right. When it's English names and that, you know what I mean? Maybe I butcher them. You know what I'm saying? But big up to Zayn Biassi here. He's saying we are dark horses to win the league. Oh, my God.
Come on, man.
Oh, my
Come
God.
on.
Hey, Zane, whatever you are drinking, please let us know in the next super chat, whatever it is, because I need that in my
Yeah.
life. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you are, I thought I was
Oh
happy and
my
doing well.
God.
Clearly, yeah. Whatever you are taking, drinking, whatever it is, please let
Maybe
me
we
know.
don't need
I
it, though.
need that.
Maybe we don't need it.
Nah,
You know what I
I'd
mean?
need it, man, because Zayn on another, like, Zayn's one of the happiest men on the planet. You know what I'm saying? Considering his teammate been successful for 20 years, he's very happy.
Yeah.
Saying
We
take that
could do a Leicester.
£4.49, put it on Arsenal to win the league, and when
Yeah.
it comes in at whatever price, then you can give us that as a super chat at the end of the season.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts. I'm
One
sure
touch
Arsenal will
football
be
better
like
than boring
1,000 to 1 or something.
Spurs. Yeah, exactly. One touch football better than boring Spurs who rely on counter attack. You know what I mean? I think
Spurs are
that's
better than you lot,
expected
though.
to
Spurs are better than you,
exactly.
Zayn. You know what
I
I'm
agree.
saying? Spurs are better than
Yeah.
you.
Exactly. So I don't know what's on, but listen, large up Zayn each and every time in it. But big up to everybody who's watching now. Make sure you like the video, people. Over 400 of you here. Big up to everybody supporting the chat, man. I love this kind of show on a Sunday night, man. We can just talk any unfiltered chat. You know what I mean? We're here. We're just giving it the large, man. So make sure you go like the video. You know, I've always questioned about the defense, maybe needing a more kind of, we need more presence in that defense, and then that gives the keeper Flawless a bit more time to kind of maybe work on his game and just be more comfortable. Is that another excuse that David De Gea takes, or do we actually need a good defense that is? So we have to have a consistent back four. We have a commanding centre half who then can speak and communicate to the keeper. Are they the aspects that maybe David De Gea has lacked for so many years, or is it a case of, you know what? No, there's too much excuses there. David De Gea should take onus for his mistakes and his frailties in his own game.
Yeah, it's a mix of things. James mentioned it. It's a team game. So, of course, having a settled defense, having a regular back four, having a system in place will help De Gea. That's just common sense. But still, individuals still need to be held accountable. Yes, it is lose as a team, you win as a team. But De Gea knows if he makes a mistake, it's probably going to cost the team a goal. Same way with one of the defenders as well. Whereas big up Andy in the chat.
Big up
well,
Andy Tay in the building.
Yeah, same way with the attackers. If they miss a chance, that might cost us 3 points. So yeah, of course, continuity will help, and that's what we've all been crying out for. This is why we're all looking at the new manager and going, all right, maybe you can get more out of us. And it's all about partnerships. Even the centre halves, you mentioned it, getting a commanding centre back. This is why I was happy with the Martinez links, because he seems the only other centre half we have that's really aggressive and on the front foot is Bailly, and we know Bailly can't stay fit. All of our defenders, whoever you rate or not, are all more sweepers and a little bit more passive, whether that's Varane, whether that's Lindelof, whether it's Maguire, whoever else. So that's why Martinez, somebody he knows, is a good addition. So yeah, hopefully it should help De Gea. All of these things will. But yeah, is he at fault for that goal? Yeah, it's not solely on him, but I would say he's the most to blame. But it's preseason. Like, you want them to be making mistakes in preseason. It's all about, it's new. I think people forget this. Like, it's new. Like, it's a new way of playing. It's a new style. Everybody's adapting. So mistakes will happen, and mistakes will happen during the season as well. And Ten Hag will make mistakes too. He's trying to figure out who can do what. Like, we kind of already know because we've been here the entire time. But I think people don't realize he's not a Manchester United fan. He don't know these men at all. Like, he's just getting to know their personalities and first names and things of that nature, and who reacts well to what. But we'll see. Yeah, well, we'll see what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely. Andy, man, we're just discussing David De Gea. Yesterday, did he catch the game? And a lot of people came out for David De Gea and said, you know what, man, if we want to be successful, David De Gea can't be part of it. Obviously, his commanding of the box isn't great, but yesterday for that goal, you know what I mean, there was like old tendencies coming back. Are you kind of sick of the situation that people just keep talking about David De Gea and what he can't bring? And are we just focused on his position that right now is not an urgent matter? That we know David De Gea has saved us for many years, but where are you on David De Gea at the minute, mate?
I've got nothing against De Gea. He's done nothing wrong. He one mistake on pre-season. So basically, he was our player of the season last year because with Ronaldo. Because if it wasn't for them two, God knows where we've been. So all this screaming and media meltdown, get a fucking life. You know what I mean? I mean, I've just come in. I've been to St. Anne's today. I've been walking my dog. I've been with my missus. Just had a nice carvery. And I come back to people moaning about the hair. People, get a grip. Enjoy your Sunday with your family. Jesus H Christ. But the hair. There's more pressing matters with that midfield. It's been crying out for the last 2-3 seasons. And if we got another season of De Gea, and this is his season to prove to Ten Hag, just we'll go with De Gea. If you need a new keeper, we'll deal with that next summer. But we are crying out for that 2 midfielders, 1 midfielder, a winger, a striker. Like you say, it's like trying to get all the fillings for the cake. You know, we are so light in the middle and in defence. The forward as well, you start with the middle first and work your way forward or back. That's the way to do it.
What did you make of the game? I'll start off with you first, Andy. Yesterday, was that kind of old tendencies creeping back in? Are you worried? I personally look at that game thinking I enjoyed it in terms of it's a good test, because then we don't ever want everything to be swimming along nicely, because it's a false reality. I actually want the test. I want these guys under pressure. I want the manager to understand what these guys are, because I still feel like they're what's the word when you're something that you're not? What's it called, man?
Well, mirage.
False position.
Sorry?
False position.
No. They're basically con men, innit? You know, when these guys,
I feel like these
guys, basically they're living a lie. Yeah, they're living a lie.
Last 12 months, the
That's
money
what I mean.
You know what I mean? No,
So,
if you take the last time we played Villa, it was sort of that sort of game at Villa Park. We were 2-0 up and cruising. Then, like I say, we just went into absolute meltdown, and they scored 2 quick goals at Villa Park. So it was just the same sort of game. But I thought our first half was brilliant. Absolutely, the link-up play was great. But it's still pre-season. I don't want to get carried away. It's nice. It's nice to see it. They're still learning. It's this one link fast play. It's good. It's quick thinking with the ball. That's what you want. That's what we want to see. But the second half, let's say changes were made. I don't think Ghana got much of a game with 20 minutes to go either. It is what it is. Like, you know what I mean? It's just pre-season. Enjoy it with him beating in pre-season, but what counts is the next 2 weeks' time. We've got 3 more friendlies left, or is it 2? I'm not sure.
Two more.
2. Yeah, I mean, next weekend, the under-23s are playing at 3 o'clock at Altrincham. They're playing at Atletico at 1 o'clock in Oslo. I mean, who makes these fixtures up?
I don't know. And then the next day, they're at Old Trafford. So
my dad's debating whether to go to Altrincham, but he wants to watch the game as well. Real genius brainiacs there at Old Trafford, sorting them now.
Yeah.
You've got Sunday.
Yeah, absolutely.
He'll go watch the reserves, then go watch United till 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Not 1 o'clock in Oslo, but it is what it is.
It's true. I don't know who these sorts out these fixtures. I mean, obviously we're in Australia for the tour or whatnot, but flawless, man. What did you make of the game yesterday? I think for me it was a bit of reality still is there. And also the midfield option isn't great, man. You know what I mean? The depth isn't great. We need players to come in because, we can't have a front three that's going to be there all season. We can't have a front three midfield that's going to be there all season. And also the back 4, I would say, do we need a cover maybe right back row? Wan-Bissaka had a terrible game yesterday. I mean, his cameo, I don't know what that cameo was, if I'm being honest with you, but what did you make of it in terms of the game yesterday? Yeah, so there you go.
I didn't watch the game in full, but I did see the highlights. And it's like, I don't watch the games in full because 1, I just want the Premier League to start. And number 2, I've seen everybody getting suckered in. You mentioned it there about the mirage. And it's like everybody getting gassed up. And it's like, I refuse to get drawn in it. Like, I'm not getting drawn in by this because this could all disappear at the first game of the season when we play Brighton. Because if we go 1-0 down inside 10, 15 minutes, like, you're going to feel. So I'm just waiting to see what happens. But in regards to all the issues that you just mentioned there in terms of Wan-Bissaka, the midfield options, the attacking options, these are things we all know. We know this. We know our forward line is like. Even with Martial, Sancho, Rashford, we still need backup, whether it's players to come in and replace them or players to back them up, because we know you can't go a whole season with just those 3. Who's backing them up is Diallo, Alanga, Ronaldo. It's like, that's not a good enough 6. We do. The right back, you mentioned it there with Wan-Bissaka. Fabrizio Romano had mentioned that we're looking at a right back as well as a striker, which is good. And then with the midfield as well. And midfield is the most talked about thing, like, I think, in the world. It's got to be like top 3.
Yeah.
It's definitely like top 1 in sport. Our midfield issues. Our midfield issues is spoken about like it's politics. Like it's the Houses of Parliament. All the time, it's a constant thing. And we all know we need, even with Eriksen, we all know that we need whether it's De Jong, and I think another 6 on top of that as well. So we'll see what happens. I think he will.
Oh, so you think De Jong and another number 6 as well? We need.
I think we need, because even with people forget we lost Matic, we lost Pogba.
This is what I mean.
We lost
Lingard,
who can play 10 as well. We lost Matter who can play 10 as well. That's 4. And I think even with those 4 in, we still needed midfielders. So we lost 4 and we was light, and we've only brought in Eriksen. All right, you can say Zidane, Iqbal, Charlie Savage, 2 youngsters, but you still want some more experience and better quality in there as well. But so far, so good in terms of, like I said, I think Eriksen's a very shrewd signing, but we still need more. We all knew before the transfer window opened, we pretty much needed a whole new team. And no one was shocked. There wasn't one more.
Ralph Ragnick did say that,
Yeah, he wasn't lying. Like, people may not have liked it, but when he said we are open heart surgery, he was right. He was probably being light. I think we're on a machine, with the things that you clear. That was us. You know what I'm saying? And then go clear and it shocks the whole body. That's United. We need everything. You know what I'm saying? Heart, you know what I'm saying? We need a blood transfusion, ribs, lung, liver, everything, fam. Trust me. The team. Brain, everything. Brain, everything, man. We had all issues, but it's slowly but surely going in the right direction. And I do like the signings we've made, the 3 signings. I do like that.
Absolutely. James, there was a lot of talk of Donny van der Beek yesterday. A lot of people, still doubting his ability in terms of taking his chances or whatnot. Where do you sit with Donny van der Beek? I still believe yesterday, when I looked at the game yesterday, it made a lot of forward runs, a lot of promising runs, not really got, people not finding him and whatnot. Where are you in terms of Donny van der Beek? In terms of will he ever make it? A lot of people are saying it's not good enough. I don't think he'll ever be good enough. I still think he needs to play a lot of games with the first team and build that confidence in. Where are you on this with this Donny van der Beek?
Well, if he is ever going to make it, he's got the perfect manager, hasn't he? Because, like you said, he's going to need a run of games. And what he's showing on the pitch at the moment, I don't think any other manager would trust him enough to give him a run of games. To be honest, he's not really showing much when he's playing, for me. It justifies a place in the starting 11, but Ten Hag knows it. So Ten Hag may trust him to play in there. The problem is, depending on what system you play, where does he play? For me, his best chance, Bruno's not setting the world alight at the moment. Maybe his best chance is in a 10, because the 6s, I think the 6s and 8s, you're probably going to get Fred or McTominay or both of them with Eriksen or whoever. I just don't see Donny van der Beek in the middle of the pitch. I think so far I've made the excuse for Van der Beek. I've said whenever he's got his chance, like West Ham last season, we played our B team. Pre-season this season, he's played in the second half of games, which is our B team. He's never had a chance with the first team until yesterday. And he had his chance, and I was like, I still just don't see it. I don't see it working. I'm not saying
What don't you like? What don't you like? What is it specific that you don't like? Because a lot of people weren't giving me specifics. Is it the fact that he hasn't got that star quality? What is it for you that you don't really kind of get from?
No, listen, I think when we signed him, it was a thing of, he's very intelligent. He's like a Juan Mata style player, but he's very tidy on the ball, makes very intelligent runs. I don't see him being very tidy on the ball. I really don't. I see him making himself available and stuff all the time and not getting the ball. I see his intelligent runs. I see that kind of stuff. I don't see him connecting the play as well as I was led to believe he does do. I don't see him being physical enough for the Premier League. And I'm not saying that every player needs to be physical, but if you're going to play Donny, you're going to play Bruno, you're going to play Fred, you're going to play Eriksen, where's your tenacity? Where's your ball winner apart from Fred, who, let's face it, is 5'6", 5'7", not the toughest person in the world. So I think Guardiola came to the league, right, and he thought he could play with loads of diminutive midfielders, and he all of a sudden, he got asked in an interview, I think once, about having to change, and he was like, yeah, I learned pretty quickly that I had to build a tougher team, basically, and I just don't think he suits the Premier League. Listen, I hope I'm wrong. I really do. I hope it comes around to bite me in the arse, and I'm completely wrong. But at the moment, I just don't see it, and I saw a chat that you brought up a while ago that was, I just wanted to touch on it. It said that McLaren had been showing McTominay videos of Busquets or something in training and telling him to play like that. think that's a bit of a waste of time, mate. That's like showing me pictures of Jennifer Lopez / Affleck and being like, yeah, just go with her. Don't think it's going to happen, mate. She's married.
Oh, James. Mate. What do you say, Andy?
A marriage of convenience.
Exactly. Where are you on it, Andy? Where are you on it, mate? Donny van der Beek. Have you given up on him, or are you still fighting his corner?
I'm still fighting his corner. I want him to succeed. I want him to win. It's just, you know he can do it, but the chances he gets, he doesn't take it. But it's going to take time. I would say he probably has till Christmas to convince Ten Hag. So? Yeah. He'll get a chance. If he wants to be a first teamer, he's not going to play him week in, week out. I think this season he's going to be a bit part player. I mean, you've got Eriksen in front of him. You got hopefully De Jong whenever that bloody soap proper comes to an end. But or any other target comes in. But I really want him to succeed, and it's a World Cup year as well. He will want to get into that World Cup squad, but I don't think a certain crazy Dutchman manager will not pick him because if he's biased towards Manchester United. So it's tough for Donny. It's looking tough, but for somebody there who's got a nice big house, Donny van der Beek's got a big pool table. Don't know if you heard about it. It's got a big Manchester United emblem on the actual leather.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, on his pool table. And if that ain't a sign of commitment, I don't know what is. He wants to be here, he wants to fight, but it's up to him. It's up to him. If we're given a chance, it's up to us to take a chance in it, so it's up to him.
Yeah, it is up to him. And, for me, Flawless, man, I don't understand what people want from Donny van der Beek. Like, he's doing what he's been asked to do.
He want everything.
He never ever gives the ball away. But yeah, go on.
That's what it is. Sorry to cut you off. People want, you know what it's like. And so people want everything, man. Like, and when I say this, I'm talking about the people who just cry on social media. They want him to score all the goals, assist. You know what I'm saying? Make all the tackles, cover all the ground, create for everybody else. They want him to play 10 out of 10 week in, week out. He's one of the few players in the squad that I will actually defend and give a little bit of time to, because you've not been a part of the mess. You've barely played. How are we give him half the opportunities all these other midfielders have had? The reason why we can say whether we rate the other players in the squad or not, because we've seen them often enough. I've seen Bruno enough. I've seen McTominay enough and Fred to make a fair assessment of what I think of them. How many games has this guy ever started 3 matches in a row? But yet McTominay will start week in, week out. Fred will start week in, week out. Bruno will start week in, week out. And it's not just on them, but where did that get us? Our worst ever finish. So give Donny a chance. People are quick to write him off, or he's not good enough. But we'll say, yeah, give Bruno time. When Bruno's been a part of this, and I'm just using him as an example, whether that's Fred. That's why even players I rate in this team, I'm not gonna defend. Like, if I'm a fan of, like, say, Martial, for instance, I think he's talented. But if someone's critical of him, I'm not gonna defend him. I'm gonna understand where they're coming from, because you've been here for long enough. You played gaming, you've at times played week in, week out. Donny, to my knowledge, has never started 3 matches in a row. But yet we're quick to say, oh, he's not good enough. But I've seen Bruno this season, the season before, and because we're talking about him in the 10 role, and even the comments that he said as well, which like was a mad eye opener. Which I'm sure you'll get to. So with Donny, I'll give him a chance. Do I believe he play? I believe if there's talent there, and if he plays often enough, I think we'll get a player out of him. But we'll see.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, we'll see. 100%, man. I mean, Zayn Biassi saying, Donny should have come to Arsenal. He could have been the Dutch legend like Camp. Andy Hayes' 4 goals. How will the fridge cope? Oh my God. We're gonna hope that. Yeah, exactly. They do get gas, mate. That's how bad they are, mate. Big up to Chauvin. He goes, I hope United fans don't get carried away on pre-season performances. Some of these players have wonderful abilities to ghost midway through the season and start leaking stuff when things go wrong. That's why I said they're imposters, innit? You know what I mean? For me, they'll get found out.
Yeah, man said wonderful abilities. Yo, these players are not all that. There's a reason we do so bad. Like, do people not watch the performances? Yes, the manager is partly to blame. Yes, you can, but the lack of system and stuff. But these players are not that. Like I said, we'd probably sell the majority of the squad tomorrow if we could. How many of them would last, really and truly, if you put us 4 in charge? The majority of them would probably be gone. And definitely very few of them would be starting, even if they stayed. But
Absolutely, no, 100%, man. You know, yesterday for me, I think it kind of highlighted that we do need depth, James, man. I'll be honest with you, man. The second team that's coming, there's a lot of youngsters. I don't want to be putting pressure on them coming in. And you know, when you look at the front three, you know, if they're on, it's a decent front three there. When whoever else comes on, you've got Ahmad, who has had great game time. You've got Elanga, who I still don't rate. This is my own opinion, people. Don't shoot me down. There's not a backup striker for yeah, there you go, Andy. There's not a backup striker for Martial. I mean, obviously, Ronaldo is still in hiatus. We need to find out what's going on there. Midfield, when you look at it, you've got Fred, Donny, and McTominay and Bruno Fernandes. Again, is that good enough to compete at this level of Premier League? I think the defense area, I would say I'm probably most confident about just for now, even though I still don't know what kind of situation we're going to do in. But are you concerned by the lack of depth, mate, James? Because it's a long season, man. It's not no easy season. This.
Yeah, no, it's the biggest concern I've got, to be honest. There's a huge lack of depth at the football club. When you consider we're going to be playing 50 odd 60 games, hopefully, if we have runs in cup competitions, you've got a World Cup halfway through the season. It's a long season. We've had a relatively short pre-season. It's going to be really, really tough. And you mentioned the defence. I think probably aside from centre-back and left-back, which is the only place where we've really got cover, the rest were short, mate. You've got to look. Tom Heaton's our goalkeeper cover because Henderson's gone. So we're short at goalkeeper. We're short at right back because Wan-Bissaka's no good. So Dallow's our first choice right back. We're short at right back. The front three is a joke because, as you know, like we don't know whether Ronaldo is going to stay. That front three look okay at the moment, but who we replaced them with yesterday, Elanga, Mabry, and whoever else came on. It's like it's not good enough. And then the midfield, yeah, again, not good enough. So we are so short in depth all across the pitch. And it's like, it's not just the fact of if someone gets injured, then there's no one to come on. It's the whole competition for places and stuff as well. And the complacency it breeds within the club. Like, let's be real. Like, Dalot knows that no one's taking his place. Haya knows that Tom Heaton's not taking his place. Like, Sancho knows that no one's taking his place. Fred knows that no one's taking his place. Maguire knows that literally there's people there that are like, they could drop 2 out of 10s, 3 out of 10s, 4 out of 10s. And it's very easy for us to say, oh yeah, Ten Hag will replace them from the team. With who? You've got to replace them with someone. Like, absolutely, with who? And just to touch on something before I mentioned when you were going over like the game yesterday and if it brought back any old habits. The biggest thing that I saw, and I'm not going to read too much into pre-season. I didn't get gassed about Liverpool. I'm not going to cry over yesterday. But it's the fact that we're all good when things are all rosy and we're confident and everything's rolling smoothly.
Absolutely.
When the shit hits the fan, mate, and it was the same last season, as soon as we concede, like early in the second half, that happened multiple times last season, when the shit hits that fan that Andy's got, like literally, we just don't know how to cope. We are so fragile as a football club. And that is Ten Hag's biggest problem, aside with dealing with the Glazers. His biggest problem at the football club is getting a mentality shift from a bunch of players that are frankly bottle jobs and don't know how to handle it when their back is up against the wall. Because Manchester United, like it or lump it, are one of the biggest football clubs in the world. And it's a pressure cooker playing inside Old Trafford. And if you can't handle it, mate, I've said it before, but there's a saying, if you can't stand the heat, get out the kitchen, mate. And about 9 or 10 of them players need to get out the kitchen because when the heat's on, when the pressure's on, they crumble, mate. Not good enough.
Absolutely. Aileen Taylor says, so we've been Hendo for Dippy Dave. And then, Andy, we got a comment here. Like I said, every opinion is all welcome on this channel, whether you have disagree or you agree with us. But Nick said here, you guys do realize we can sign all players. We can't sign all players, I think he means, for every position in one season. This is a process that will take seasons. Oh my God, how hard is it to understand? What do you say back to that, Andy? Because I get that, but then again, mate, we've lost 7 players. Like, what are you, mate? Like,
sorry.
Jesus Christ! I said this last week, and I'll say it again. 2018, Real Madrid, got 5 in, nothing like 6, 7 went out. What did he do? La Liga, Champions League, boom, thank you, and good night. So it's possible to do, but all right, it can't be done. I'd say with our finances the way they are, the way the club's been running to the ground, and every penny is, every penny is scarce and valuable now to get the transfer target. I mean, this is just our first transfer window with Ten Hag. Will he add in January? That's it. That's only. Well, that's the way. That's the question. Come January the 1st, will he have money to strengthen his squad? Will he be crippled? Have his hands tied behind his back? We'll just have to wait and see. He could have half a team come end of January. He could. One of these players, like you say, James said, after these fucking bottle jobs, they want to still fucking bottle it, and we are desperately in need of reinforcements. Right, you, fuck off. I'll have him, place you. Then that's it. We move on. I don't give a shit. We're in trouble come Christmas. Sacrificial lambs, chopping block. Just fucking get them out. I don't fucking want him. No matter who they are, who the ego is, who they think they fucking are. Billy Big Bollocks. You know what I mean? I just want what's right for the club. And if the players are still not pulling the weight, you're fucking gone, mate, come Christmas. I don't care what you fucking go moaning. If there's any leaks come Christmas, you're fucking out the door as well. And that's pure and simple. And James hit the nail on the head with that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, in terms of investment, we're hearing news about De Jong tonight. Update about De Jong is actually a decent update, but again, I don't know where we take this news with us.
What's the update? What is it?
So the update is, it's kind of like not an update, but it's an update. I'm gonna put it up here.
It's an
Is it the faster basically?
I love that. That's brilliant.
Faster one, get rid of it.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
It's an update, but it's not an update.
That sums up the transfer window, though, doesn't it? It's an update, but it's not an update. You know what I mean? But it says here the ball is in Frenkie de Jong's court. If he wants to continue at Barcelona, he will have to reduce his salary. If he does not, Xavi will be forced to do without him. Again, I don't really like what they're doing to De Jong, but he's got to make a decision flawless now. But at the same time, where are you on in terms of this now? Just by kind of like viewing this kind of like news here.
Still the same as last week. Barcelona are crooks. I keep saying that.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like this. How they have employees and they owe him 17 million and we've not paid him. But you're out here splashing the cash on players, buying, and it's not even like they're buying like small profile players. Like these are doing it loud and proud. Like this is like somebody legit owing you money, and then you see them on Instagram Live in the club. You know what I'm saying? Like popping bottles and stuff like that. Like this is outrageous. Like how dare you do this? Like it's like being at a job, being at your workplace, and they owe you money, and yet they've not paid you, but they're hiring new people. Like I said, he's not signed Lewandowski. They jacked Rafinha off Chelsea. Like they went out of their way. I think they tried to also do it with Kunde. I don't know what's going on with that. Like I said, they're crooks. And this is why I'm not on Manchester United's case about this, because again, I've never seen anything like this. How the governing bodies have not got involved in this, I don't know. This is all open on Front Street. It's not like this is a private matter and we don't know. This has been discussed like on a regular basis. So with the De Jong one, I'm still in the camp I was last week and like, all right, let's see. Because I've already said, if he didn't want to be at Manchester United, that's a simple no. What are you negotiating? Which lets me know there is interest. But does he probably have questions about the project? Of course. Why would you not? Like, that's sensible of him to do his due diligence. Secondly, we don't know what's going on with Barcelona. How does that whole thing work with money? Like, I've never seen this happen before where you're trying to sign a player and the club he's at is he's owed wages. So if we buy him, does that veto his wages that they owe him because he's not on the books no more? That's what the hold up is? I don't know what the ruling is. I'd love to know the ruling.
They've sold a load of TV rights this week as well.
Yeah, they got money.
15%, so they can get more. Well, why don't you just use some of that and fucking pay off, don't it?
Pay him. Like, and it seems
like
they're just like comfortable. Yeah. Like, that's what I would say.
So, like say, Flawless, he's the biggest con merchant in Spain.
It's ridiculous.
I mean, I don't know how Barcelona get away with it. It's the biggest bungalow on this side of the owner.
You know what they said? Which is kind of crazy. I think it's Xavi this morning. I mean, this is why I just feel like De Jong has just got to take the hint, man. Like, they don't respect you over there, man. What he said basically, I'm not there to send messages. I already spoke with Frenkie. I value him much. He's a key player, but there's no economic situation and financial. But there's economic situation, financial fair play. He can give us a lot. Also, as a centre back, he added.
He didn't say that.
I don't know if it means.
He didn't say that
Yeah.
last part.
He did play as centre back. He played as centre back.
No, I know he played as a centre back, but I'm saying, did Xavi actually say that? Like, that's just unnecessary, man. That's
he
just
did say this.
That is adding fuel to the fire. This is turning it. That's like a wrestling promo line. Like, this is getting outrageous. That is ridiculous.
Can I say something though? Does he mean this? Does he mean this in a way where he's saying he can also give us options as centre back if needed, or is he counting him as a centre back? That's what I want to know. People, anyone can jump in for this one, by the way.
Did they not just sign a centre back? I swear they just signed Christensen. Are they not trying to sign Kunde?
Yeah, but they signed Kunde. Yeah,
so they've signed Christensen, they signed Kunde. You still got PK. They probably got some other centre backs as well. Did they not let Langlet go on loan to Spurs as well? This is just straight trolling. That's a tongue-in-cheek comment, innit? That's very cheeky. That last part, that is extremely cheeky.
But it just depends on what De Jong wants, innit, James? We're waiting around, innit? Like, that's all we can do right now. But do we have time to wait around? Like, I said this from day one. I'm happy to wait for De Jong because I feel like there isn't much options out there. But I also think, on the other hand, starting the season with McFred is absolutely scary, man. Because there you go. Most midfielders are better than ours. I understand Ten Hag is going to be an unbelievable manager. And I feel like he is an unbelievable manager for what he's done, yeah. But I don't know if he can turn water into wine. And he felt like a bit disgruntled in his press conference. I don't know if you guys read his press conferences, but he looked like he said, you know what? We do need numbers. You know what I mean? As much as everything's okay, we do need numbers. Where are you on this with De Jong now? I know I keep asking every week, but obviously now this update here is another update. You know what I mean? 2 weeks left of the season starts today. So by this week, in 2 weeks, right? We've just finished a Brighton game, so take it as you will, mate.
I'm tired, mate. I mean, how many of these shows have we done now? Like, I don't know how many we've done. 4, 5, 6.
Too many.
Every one you've asked me about De Jong. Every single one since we started, and every single time I'm just like, wait and see what happens. We'll probably get it before the end of the window, but I don't know. We're Manchester United. We dilly-dally, we piss about. We never get anything done on time. The whole situation is just absolutely crazy. Like, obviously, Manchester United are a better team with Frenkie de Jong. Obviously, Barcelona are a worse team without Frenkie de Jong. I mean, at the end of the day, like the guys have already touched on, it's the biggest con in history. Like, how they can get away with signing a player for 50 million and owing a player 17 million in wages. Yet, if I don't pay a parking ticket, I've got fucking fat ass bailiffs knocking down my door. Like, I don't know how that fucking happens. You know what I mean? Like, double standards or what?
Away, mate.
I know, literally, like, I owe like £80 parking ticket. I've got bailiffs trying to take my fucking TV away. Yeah, fucking Barcelona owns 17 million quid. And it's like, nah, just go and spend treble that on fucking Rafinha. Why not? Like, the whole thing's a joke. Where do I stand on Frenkie de Jong in general? It looks like he's trying to be phased out of the club, to be honest. I mean, Lola touched on the comments before. It does look a bit tongue-in-cheek. Like, they've just signed centre-backs. Does De Jong want to be a centre-back? No. I think he's talked about positions he plays before. He said he can play a 6 or an 8, or maybe even further forward, but I don't see him playing as a centre-back. And so I think that was just a way of, like, when he was picked as centre-back, I think people saw it as like Xavi taking the piss a little bit. And I think he was just trying to cover his own back, saying, no, actually, I value his qualities at centre-back. When really it was just a bit like, it was just, let's just put him in the team to show that we value him in some way, but we really don't. I actually think we'll get him now. I really do. But I'm sick of the whole saga. It's taken far too long. Far too long. We've wasted far too much time on it. I personally wasted far too much energy on it. And to answer your question, I'm tired of it. That's exactly where I am with it. I'm completely tired of it.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Big up to everybody who's locked in, guys. There's nearly 800 of you watching. Guys, if you could get the likes up to at least 400 people.
Yeah, man.
Hit the like button. 100%. Big up to everybody watching, man. And make
that
sure
last
you guys
tweet about nothing, the update that wasn't an update, had like 1,300 likes and we can't get 400. That wasn't even an update. We're giving up our Sunday night to chat to you. Hit the like.
Exactly, mate. Hit the like.
I rushed it.
There you go.
I rushed it, man.
Andy rushed there, man. Left his carvery, you get what I'm saying? He could have had the next
carvery. Gravy.
Yeah, exactly.
Lovely gravy. Oh,
man. Everyone loves a carvery, man.
Gravy.
Yeah. We've got a we're linked with another striker. Andy, I don't obviously been out for a while, but today we've been linked with a striker. Fabrizio Romano tweeted, Man United are well informed of Salzburg talent Benjamin Sesko. He's one of the players monitored. You know, they love the word monitored, considered. You know, I mean, really talented, but it's not imminent or advanced of now. So basically, in essence, you know, I mean, nothing's really happening. And Man United are aware of Sesko as other clubs are informed too, including Newcastle, which probably means that he's probably ended up at Newcastle because the way Man United move, you know what I mean, we don't move quick. And they've lost a striker this summer in a TK who was meant to go to Newcastle. Didn't happen. I mean, he's a young talent. He's a young up-and-coming talent. Andy, are you patient enough for that? Like, be honest, like, you know, because at the end of the day, like, you know what I mean? It's one of them situations. You're losing Ronaldo, and then we bring in Sesko, who, you know what I mean, nobody's really heard of. Again, I want to be proven wrong. I hope he absolutely smashes it, and we do it. I've not really seen much of him. I've watched a few comps, but, you know.
Is he a Ralph Ragnick recommendation?
Yeah, 100%.
It could be. It could be,
Could
yeah.
be.
Could be.
Them notes that were left on the desk at Carrington. Ten Hag,
Yeah.
hang on. I'm out this one, maybe. But there has to be a cut-off point. There has to be a cut-off point. Like James said, these players for the transfer targets, the young, you have to have a cut-off point a week. Even if you have to change your targets with a week to go, it has to come to a conclusion. Whether it would be a striker, midfielder, defender, you can't drag all these out now. It's just too long, and it's so frustrating. Like I say, we're not in control of the young. We're relaxed now, but there has to be a cut-off point where he said, "This is getting 3 or 4 days left of the transfer window, and we're still jerking off with this fucking transfer. We have to go somewhere else." No,
that's why it's called the Unfiltered podcast, people. This is why. Go on.
Yeah, I am what I am. I say what I say. If you can't deal with it, get out.
Get out, exactly.
There's got to be a cut-off point. There's got to be a cut-off point with the players and the transfers, even outgoings. If say we don't buy anybody, but we sell people, then we're fucking weaker than we was before.
Yeah.
I mean, Bayer going to AC, was it AC Milan? Was it Roma?
Roma, 10 million only, 10 million.
I mean, that's fucking crazy, that. That's absolutely crazy. At least get 15 to 20 for him.
Yeah.
But there has to be a cut-off point, mate. You can't be running around September 1st panicking, flicking through the fucking A to Z on FIFA looking for the fucking players.
They're so going to have Eric Bain for calling at the back to win the Super Cup.
They'll be checking FIFA 21 and fucking FIFA 22. Oh, who's going to come in for FIFA 23? Because that's how fucking incompetent the scouting system is.
Yeah, exactly. That's how. Maybe they watch your Football Manager. I don't know, man, because like I said, I've not really heard of him. Again, everyone's saying Football Manager. Everybody knows him from there. He's young. He's up and coming. You know, I mean, big up Lee Chappie, evening fella. Speaking of transfer window, can't be worse than us. Only team in Europe top flight to not make movements. Listen, you'll be all right, man. You got Brendan Rodgers at the helm, man. Best manager ever. You know what I mean? But
thank
listen,
God we dodged that bullet.
Yeah, 100%. Olsen says here, Flawless, this is a shambles. We are worse off than we were last season. Only positive is Derek Ten Hag. You know what? I'll be honest with you, man. Like I said, the only thing for me that's keeping me very, very like confident and almost just content right now at this minute is that we've got a manager in it. And I feel like for me, as long as we know we've got a manager going into the season, at least then we can see something going forward in terms of managerially. I think it's up to the club, innit? Ten Hag can't do anything at this minute. We have to wait what the club do.
Well, I don't. Why is it a shambles? I don't get like why it's a shambles. Like the people feel not one. We have a miles better manager, so we're better off. Like that's just from the start. Like let's get that out of the way. The manager we have at the helm currently right now is miles better than the last guy we had. So that's 110%. We're much better. Also, on top of that, we have signed 3 players, people. Like yes, we do need more, but it's a start. I think people have just forgot that we signed a left back, we signed a centre back, and we got Eriksen. 3 players that the managers wanted as well. Again, I've used this analogy, but I've used this scenario before. I use it again. I don't know if people expected United to unveil Ten Hag and then there was going to be 6 signings with him. That was never going to happen. It's all new. And in regards to the striker that you mentioned, this is what I've been talking about. When people say, oh, the striker market's bad, I'm like, no, there's no obvious signings. But if you do your due diligence and scout, which the club should do, which Ten Hag should have his people, Ralph, if he did leave the notes as well, have a look at this guy because I've never heard of him up until today. But I'm like, if Ten Hag wants him, go and get him because there's hundreds of thousands of footballers out there, people. Just because we don't know him or FIFA generation don't know him or the football manager don't, somebody does. Like I say, go scout. You know what I'm saying? Speaking of football manager, you can send scouts all over the world. If you can do it in a game, Manchester United have the capabilities of doing this in real life and send scouts to wherever they need to go and locate a striker. Like, this is the profile I'm looking for.
Does it make you feel like, though, Flawless, that if you went for this kind of like target man, you know what I mean? Was it not just kind of like easier just to go with someone who's done it last season, who, you know what I mean, right now is a big, big talent. Everybody's seen the way he plays. 36 million euros, so that's about 30 million.
Okay, so that's cheap.
In total. It's cheap. West Ham have got him. They've gone in for him. You know what I mean? Like I said to you, it's one of them. Like, should we have just not gone for Scamacca instead? Very, very viable. Like, I don't know. That makes it look to me that they want Ronaldo to stay, then keep Martial. Then you got a young and upcoming striker. So then that could be there ready for next season. So it's almost if they're thinking about next season and wanted to keep Ronaldo. Because if they would have gone and got Scamacca. Is that good, like, you know, planning and preparation?
Very sensible planning. And this is something we've been critical of Manchester United, is not having a short-term plan or having a long-term plan. So because I said this, Cavani left. So we needed a striker regardless of the Ronaldo situation. If Ronaldo leaves, we actually need two. Because you can't just go a whole season with, say, just Martial and the youngster coming through. Because then what happens if Martial gets injured, the youngster loses form or doesn't adapt, then who are you playing up front? So it's like, go and sign a striker. And if it is Martial, Ronaldo, and a youngster coming through, they're good options to have. And in terms of the Scamacca, it's all about the manager. What does Ten Hag want? Like, we've preached this, and many people will preach this up until we sign a player that they don't like, or there's a player out there that we should get, or no, that they want us to get and we don't like. Yeah, that happened with Basuma. Like, people were like, oh, why did Manchester United go get Basuma? I think Basuma's a quality player, but we didn't make a bid. The manager wasn't interested. But we were like, oh, that's a terrible miss. We missed out on him. No, the manager didn't want. Just because you wanted him doesn't mean the manager wanted him. Like, that's how it works. Let the manager manage. And let's see, man. Like, we having all these conversations before this man has even taken one competitive game. At least let him get the first competitive game out of the way. Let's get the season out of the way and then see where it pans out.
Yeah, you know what? I want to bring the other side to the argument, because a lot of people have said, "Oh, is that the right thing to do, James? In terms of let the manager have control of the signings, and should the club have a little bit of a say in terms of maybe being more proactive and say, you know what, we might take it from here, or we might go and get this alternative option, because we need to think about the next season." Because, you know, someone's saying here, Flawless, it's because we've been good. We've seen good managers fail under poor ownership. We're very skeptical now that Ten Hag won't be back. I think that's just kind of a natural instinct, isn't it? Yeah, go on.
The managers weren't good enough, though. That's what it was. Yes, you could complain about the setup above them, but their managers were not good enough. David Moyes wasn't good enough. Van Gaal wasn't good enough. Mourinho wasn't good enough. Oli wasn't good enough. Like, we can say that. Even if them man there had the perfect setup, I don't believe they would have been successful here. To the point where we're talking about, you need a lot to go in your favor. Yes, you want a fantastic setup above you, but you also need the manager who has the skill set to do that as well. So it's like, who's again, this is another thing. Who said Ten Hag hasn't been backed? To what I'm looking at, it seems he's been back so far. Right. We signed 3 players. Like, so again, was it supposed to be 25? Like, I don't know. We were supposed to sign 25 players this summer. I don't get it, innit? Like, I look at it and I go, the club seems to be moving in the right direction. And this the young link as well, that's 4. We've been linked with a right back 5, a striker that's 6, a winger 7. We've been linked with 7 players, obviously signed 3 and linked with 4 more. These are all steps in the right direction. That's almost, if we sign 7 players, that's more than half his first team coming in already. Well,
yeah, and also maybe with Mourinho, they didn't give him all his players. James, where are you on this one in terms of people being a bit, you know, kind of like worried, like the gentleman says here? You know, I think another person says here, has he really been backed? You know, where are you? How much do you think we need more bodies, like in terms of like, you know, bodies left in? Where are you looking at in terms of like more incoming? Sorry.
I think he has been backed, to be honest, mate, and I think he'll continue to be backed. I think they've They bought into his process. They've bought 3 players. They even flew out to Spain, as I've mentioned before, to try and get his number 1 target. They've not gone and signed someone else. They're waiting for him to get his number 1 target, which shows them backing him. They've spent money. They'll probably continue to spend more. You can talk about net spend, but United were never going to go and spend 200, 250 million. They weren't going to do that in one window. I think they backed him. In terms of weaknesses in the squad, there's a lot of areas I'd like to improve. But like honestly, we obviously like if we get De Jong, then I'm kind of happy with the whole De Jong, Eriksen, Fred thing at the moment for a season. See how it works. Play 2 out of 3 of them. That's fine. We need massive reinforcements up front. I know you were talking about Schumacher there. And if Ronaldo goes, we need 2. We might need more. We play a front 3. Right? Yeah. We can't have 4 players. Like at the moment, if Ronaldo stays, right? Like forget Alanga. Alanga's not ready, right? I agree with you. I don't think he's good enough / ready yet. So if Ronaldo stays, we've got Ronaldo, Sancho, Rashford, Martial. 4 people for 3 positions in a World Cup year where we're going to play 60 games. Not enough. We need at least 6. Even if you count Alanga as one of them, we need 1 more. You don't count Alanga because he's not good enough. We need 2 more. Ronaldo goes, we need 3 more. We are so dry, so short up front. And that's not even taking into account the fact that Rashford and Martial are massive confidence players, and they could fall off a cliff. Yeah. So if they fall off a cliff mid-season, what happens? We're like with Sancho and Ronaldo if he stays. Like literally, we are so short up front. So I think the manager's been backed. I think there had to be certain areas prioritised. I was surprised when we got a left back. I'm not unhappy, but if that took the place of us spending money on a position which was more urgent, then I'd be a bit annoyed. Like you talked about, like. I think it was a couple of weeks ago on this show, someone was like, oh yeah, it took City 2 or 3 seasons to get this player. Like, you know, things don't happen immediately. It's like, we've needed a 6 for probably 6, 7 transfer windows now. Since like 2019, like 3 summers, 3 Januaries, we've needed a 6. We've not signed one. If we go and sign a forward at the detriment of not signing a 6, I'll be livid, mate. If we've signed a backup left back and another centre back, our 6th centre back, and we've got someone on a free and we've still not signed a 6 after like 7 windows, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Honestly, like, are people blind? Brain dead, mate. Brain dead FC.
Absolutely. 2 weeks left to the window, Andy. I think, for me, I always think I'd rather get my signings done before the window starts rather than reacting to what's going on, because it's not great when you're reacting. People put the price up. You know what I mean? And then they say, well, we don't want to lose this player when the season started. So just imagine we go for Ivan Toney and we don't have a striker. You know, they're going to want 50 million for Ivan Toney. So it's a massive 2 weeks left of the season, mate. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. In the Premiership matches will have, come the end of the window as well, they will have an effect on the transfer window. Say we're in a bad position after 3-4 games. We're desperate. Oh, you got to pay this. You got to pay that. So the league form will affect the transfers at start of the season. We come out of the blocks like Schumacher. We'll you know me, but we'll slow down. So I don't know. It's trying to balance the optimism and the reality of what can we achieve, who can we buy, who can we sell, deal your cards, you know, like a poker. This is poker between now and the start of the season, and then the start of at the end of the transfer window. It's September 1st, yeah.
September 1st, yeah.
Yeah. So when that 11 o'clock window shuts, is there going to be a mad panic? Or we got all our business always going to be quiet? Always going to be quiet on the transfer window. Apart from,
I remember Berbatov. Was that the last day of the window? Berbatov one. I remember that one. That was a good one. But yeah, like I said, you just want to hope for that we get it all done. And yeah, man, listen, it is what it is. We move on, people. But that has been your MUFC podcast, Unfiltered podcast. What a show, man. Big up to everybody still locked in it. Early 800 of you still in the building. Guys, let's see if we can get to 400 likes, man. We're not far away from 400 likes, which will be half of the people watching. So half of other people can just stay not liking the video. We'll be all right, man. But people, make sure you go subscribe to Sarcasm City TV. Link is in the description for his channel. Flawless, what you got coming, man, today? Anything you got going?
Today, just sports Q&A tonight. So there'll be a sports Q&A tonight at midnight. Obviously, we're discussing this, whatever else the comments ask. That's a show for, like I say, or the comments where they dictate what goes on. So they just ask any sporting question and myself and the panelists will run through it. So yeah, that'll be tonight at midnight. Probably Arsenal-Chelsea beef in it. That's probably on the agenda.
Yeah.
Because Chelsea fan base is in more meltdown than us. Right?
Yeah, it is. It's true. I see Lewis stressing, man.
Lewis is stressing on his stream. Big old Lewis. He was finished.
Yo,
he's had enough.
I'm telling you, they're in trouble, mate. They're in trouble, man. But listen, we got our own problems to deal with. James Dixon, nice one for coming on, mate. Appreciate it, man. Let them know where they can find you.
Yeah, no worries. Cheers for having us. James Dixon PT on Instagram, James Dixon _PT. On Twitter, follow for all your fitness and football content.
Absolutely. And Andy, good to see you as well, mate. Nice one for coming on the show, mate. You had a good weekend as well. Big up, man.
Yeah, cheers. Enjoyed it, guys. Sorry I was late, but he said...
No, don't worry, man.
It's trying to balance the enjoyment and the seriousness of life with football. But yeah, I'll be here next week. Hopefully some new equipment I'm getting next week.
Let's go.
Brilliant. Good to see you. And then hopefully we can talk about, if I can get back in time, we'll do the review or whatever, or we'll talk about the game, obviously, via Vallecano. But if not, we'll be back the week after. But listen, people, enjoy the rest of your evening. I'll be back tomorrow for the Straight Jacket podcast. And yeah, man, make sure you go follow Flawless Channel Sarcasm City. Leaving a like on the video on your way out. And yeah, people, United will be back next week. Take care. Bye-bye.